Hey, welcome to Mind Your Business. I am Ama Duncan. I'm a corporate trainer, business coach, and founder of the Fabulous Woman Network. Also, the hostess of Mind Your Business. This is a show that I bring to you every Tuesday at 12 noon GMT on YouTube, where we get to talk about business because I love business. I believe that through business, we can actually create wealth and impact people. And today I have the privilege of interviewing a very fabulous woman whom I've had the privilege of, interacting with through the power of social media for some time. I've learned a lot from her. She inspires me so much. And so this is really exciting for me to have the opportunity to have this conversation on Mind Your Business with her. I'm going to read her bio. I call her Lady Abba. This is her bio. Abba Kato Anda, that's her name. Listen to it. Let me say it again. Abba Kato Anda. She's a Christian psychotherapist, mindset coach, and sought-after speaker. She's the founder of Chrysalis Counseling and Coaching, a private counseling practice. The constant theme in Abba's life and career has been her concern for the well-being of others and her love for imparting information and new insights to encourage people to live more authentic and rewarding lives. Abba is a passionate mental health advocate and is a director of Health and Wellbeing International, an NGO aimed at mental health education and promotion. Abba is the author of the book Reflections of the Hopemonger, which is available worldwide on Amazon. And she's the host of the Hopemongers Podcast on all major podcast streaming platforms. Abba lives in Florida, a place I really need to go to one of these days. She lives there with her husband, Edmund, who is a ops and gynae. So, to make things really easy for all of us, he's a doctor. They are blessed with an adult son, a daughter, and a daughter-in-law. This is so exciting for me, ladies. Well, and gentlemen, forgive me. Sit tight and enjoy this interview with Abba Kato Anda on Mind Your Business. So, Lady Abba, I am so excited to have you here today talking to us. And I love your Oprah hair. Seriously, every time I see you, I think of Oprah. You're just an amazing woman. And today I have a confession. I'm going to tell you how I actually fell in love with you, how and when. So remember there was a hurricane. I forgot the name. But then you wrote this beautiful story about how you put towels and okay, so now talking about it, I'm getting goosebumps already. And then you talked about how you covered up everything, and then you expected that the rain was just going to come, and you were even afraid of flooding and everything. Okay, so I'm jumbling up the story, but I remember being so excited about reading it, and I remember thinking, Amma, this is the kind of woman you should be following, I fell in love with you then. That story was so beautiful. And so imagine my happiness when I saw it in the book. I was like, this story. So we are going to talk about all that. But before, I've read your bio and everything. Tell us something we don't know about you already on social media, that is.
Ooh, wow. So okay. So, well, let me start with what you do know, and
Okay.
then I'll talk about what I'm I also fell in love with you, probably around the same time you fell in love with me. So it's a love fest here. Um, my name is Abba Kato Anda. What you do know is one thing I took, which is a leaf from your book, and I've adopted it now, is I'm a fabulous child of God. I've claimed
Oh,
that for myself as well. All
oh.
right. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a mother-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and in terms of what I do to serve and to impact the world, I'm a therapist, an author, relatively new author, and I'm a podcast host.
Yeah.
What is one thing people don't know about me? Is it clear that I'm really silly? Is that obvious to the world?
No,
I can be when I mean silly, I mean I have an amazing sense of humor. I love
exactly.
to laugh.
Fun loving.
So I find I'm very fun loving is what I mean when I say silly. Yes. So I'm very fun loving. I laugh at everything and anything. And laughter, there's even remember well, I don't know if you are old enough. There's
No,
actually
not very young.
a publication which is actually still in publication. It's called Reader's Digests. And
Oh
there's a
yes,
section,
yes.
Reader's Digest, called Laughter is the Best Medicine.
Medicine.
Right. And I truly believe that, sometimes I laugh my way, in addition to praying and doing all the things I need to do when it's a difficult situation. Laughter also comes in, seeing the humor of something, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And there's lots of studies behind even laughter. So I love to laugh. I love to laugh. Maybe
Laughter
that's
is
one
good.
thing people
And
don't know.
that is why you look so young, because actually, look, I even have gray hair. And I'm not, oh my God. Anyway, we won't talk about that before I get all sad and start wiping my tears.
Oh, but Lady Amma, as for the gray hair, please,
But me,
you
I
can.
want to swag it. Oh, hey, me, I love
No, no,
it.
no, no. That's the thing. You can have gray hair and absolutely swag it. But as for gray hair, you can buy black hair from a box, right?
That's all. That's also, I mean, I'm really so excited that you've agreed to have this conversation with me. Thank you so much. And I want to start from the story about the hurricane. Let's give people a teaser for those who haven't had the opportunity to hold the book. See how I'm touching it? It's live, Philly Philly. Those who haven't had the opportunity, tell me about the story that you share in the book about the hurricane and at the time when this was happening. I mean, you've talked about how you were listening to the song We Bow Down and Worship Yahweh and everything, so beautiful with the family and everything. Was there ever a point that you were like, oh my God, what if God doesn't come through? What if, was there ever, did you ever have like a Thomas moment where you had a little doubt maybe?
So the backdrop to the story, which for those people who haven't read the book yet, is I live in Florida, where hurricanes, are a thing. And in the last few years in particular, I think the state went through probably close to 20 years where they didn't have bad hurricanes. I
Mm.
mean, there's a hurricane season, but then all of a sudden, about 4 5 years ago, every year there'd be like a huge one. And when it's coming, that's all you hear in the news about. It's going to be a category 5. It's gone through here. It's gone to Puerto Rico. It's killed X number of people. And so the backdrop to it is that and every time the hurricane comes, everyone that comes in the season, they give it a name,
Yeah.
right? So they name it. So they start with ABC. And every year is different. So if A is a male name, then B will be a female name. So
Mm-hmm.
this particular hurricane, which I think at this point is about 2 years ago, was called Hurricane Irma.
Emma.
And Hurricane Irma was coming. And again, they were forecasting doom. They were forecasting, just destruction of property. They were forecasting lives to be lost. And so, and it was going to come and weren't sure where it would come. And so I live in Florida, which is quite a big state.
Yeah.
So, of course, we started taking precautions. I mean, we fill our bathtubs with water in case you lose water. You buy lots of food, you buy ice blocks so that if the power goes off, you can at least cool your food. And then you make sure we don't have coal pots. You make sure you have a barbecue grill, right? So that if anything happens, you can at least grill your meats and
Mm-hmm.
warm up your food. So there's a lot of, preparation that we did. Anyway, so to cut a long story short, my university roommate, her name is Genoa. She lives in South Florida, a place called Miami. All
Mm.
right. And my brother and his wife live in a place called Tampa, Florida. So as those of us who are in Florida, we're all calling each other, how are you? What's going on? Da, 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 da. Then Genoa calls and says, you know what? The hurricane was actually scheduled to go into Miami and basically bring destruction. All right, I thought it was mine.
No,
Basically bring destruction. So Genoa called and says, you know what? We don't know what to do. We are just sitting in our car and we are trying to drive north to maybe get to New York. And so we said, you know what, come to us. At least the hurricane, when we look at where it's supposed to hit, it's not supposed to hit us as strongly. Come to us. We can shelter you. And of course, I said this spontaneously without even checking with my husband first, but that's a whole different story. How many of you know that if you don't talk to your husband first, trouble can come? Anyway, fortunately, he thought it was a good idea. And then, as we're listening to the forecast, they were saying, no, 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 the hurricane is also going to strike Tampa. So when I was talking to my brother and his wife, I'm like, okay, come over. So everybody drove to where I live, right, just outside Orlando. Meanwhile, when they arrived, then the forecast changed. Now
Lord.
it's going to strike us. you know. So anyway, so by this time the tension was mounting. The tension was mounting, and when there's tension, sometimes the worst of our personalities begin to show. So my college roommate, she and her husband are both lawyers. So then they'll ask you questions, is this secure? Is that secure? Is that secure? And I couldn't answer the questions.
Yeah.
Then my husband was like, you see, you've got to bring
Great.
people, and now this would happen. And then everybody was almost getting on each other's nerves. And of course, when the hurricane comes to, you have to gather in a safe place. You can't just be anywhere in the house. You have to be in a room with no windows. Da, 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 da. So anyway, this thing was coming. The news reports were horrible. Tension was mounting. The rain was coming. The wind was coming. And we didn't know what to do. Your question was, did I wonder what would happen? Yes, I did. I was worried because now it wasn't just the lives of my family, but there were two other families we'd invited to come. And now the thing was later to come to us, you know? And so, yes, I was worried. And in that moment, I think God just came in. I had just recently heard that song, Yahweh. We bow down and worship Yahweh. And so it was, I talk a lot about I have a hope jam every season, every week. Sometimes I'll have a jam that will last a couple of weeks, but I always have a worship song that's just on my heart. It's on my playlist. I'll play it and play it and play it. It so happened that Yahweh, we bow down and worship Yahweh, was that hope jam, right? And
So
that's how we worshipped and worshipped and worshipped. And yes, I didn't know what would happen, but it was a situation where we just put our lives in God's hands because we had no choice. What else are you going to do? There's nowhere you can go. The hurricane has started, the rain has started, shelters are full, shelters are even dangerous because you don't know who else are in the shelters and so on. There was no other option but to give it all to God and brace ourselves for the storm. And as it turned out, God performed a miracle. I'm sitting here looking at my swimming pool. The waters were coming. They were coming. They were coming. They were coming. It was the house was close to flooding, and I just declare, waters. And look, Lady Ama, I have a deep faith. But when I tell you I'm very easygoing and laughing, I'm not, I don't walk around like some super spiritual thou, kind of person. I feel like I'm just a really just ordinary person made extraordinary by the giftings of God and by his grace and mercy. So anybody who's listening, it's not that I'm super whatever you have it. I'm just a person who, seeing waters coming, just said, Lord, you know what? Let these waters recede. And then I boarded all the entrances where the water was coming with towels and left it. What else can we do? What else could we do but leave it in God's hands? You
and
know,
he came through.
he came through amazingly. He came through amazingly. You know, my college roommates' children, they're very young. Even after they left, mommy, let's sing the Yahweh song. And so then they would begin to worship with that song.
Yeah.
So this God we serve, he does come through. He does come through. And sometimes I think extreme situations make us just call out to him. And maybe in those moments we may not have that much time for doubt. But we need to also bring it into the everyday things of life too. Put it in his hands, trust him, surrender, and watch him work, is what I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm taking from this is we all know that God is in control and he's taking care of us, but occasionally we may worry still. I mean, we can never say, oh, as for me, I never worry. But then in spite of the worry, in spite of the doubt, let's still trust him. And I mean, you really surrendered because at that point there's nothing else you could have done anyway. You surrounded, and God really took care of you and the other families. You also mentioned that their homes were also okay and all that. Beautiful, beautiful stories. Now, we are in a time over the past, what, how many months now to a little over 1 year, we've had Uncle Koro. I refuse to call it Auntie Koro, as some people call it. It just came and changed the way everything works, like the world as we know it. I mean, you are in business yourself. You've recently written your book. You have a podcast and all. And I am doing my own, the Fabulous Woman Network consulting and everything. And sometimes it's like, oh my God, like, am I even doing the right thing? Because I get confused, literally. I don't know what to do. And I'm always saying I don't know what to do. Even before the virus came, I don't know what I do, what to do. What is it that I say? There was this quote I heard somewhere. I don't know what I'm doing until I do it. But now I feel like I don't know jack at all. And so I want to ask you, in your own personal business, running a business and running your home and everything, how are you able to master hope, to just keep going, not knowing that tomorrow, and your husband is a doctor, tomorrow he could bring whatever it is, and you never know. How are you able to move from day to day, just holding on to hope that tomorrow will come and everything will be fine?
Yeah. So I would say it's a couple of things. Number one, it is because I don't hope in myself, I hope in my God. And so, me learning about who my God is, me understanding that He will never fail, He will never leave me or forsake me. Me understanding the promises in His word, that helps because it's not about me, it's about Him. It's not about my faithfulness, it's about His. Secondly, when you talk about mastering hope, I think that, for you, for me, for those of us who seek to impact the world, I think that one pitfall we may come to is the notion that because, I'm going to do a master class, I'm a master at this, I'm going to master my emotions. And I think that can put pressure on us,
Yeah.
And I think that puts us in the area of perfectionism, and I want to say that, listen, I have days, hope is a changing
Thank you.
entity.
Thank
And
you.
so the point is always to have it rising. There are times when it may be low. There even may be different situations where your hope is at a different level than in other situations. The point is, what do I need to do to get it to rise? Right? I think another thing I do is when I'm successful with this is not to take all of life in at a time, but take it one day at a time. And then tomorrow, His mercy and His faithfulness are new every morning.
Every morning.
And I hold on to my hope every morning. So I think is what it is that I think that the best thing for me about becoming a therapist was disabusing myself of a notion of being perfect, having to be perfect, having to appear perfect, just like you, despite the fact that you do all these amazing things and you show so much, foresight and in your case and courage, and I don't know, you just seem, to anybody who doesn't know you, you seem to be the most bold person out there, right? But then, right, what do you always say? One of the things I battle is my self-esteem, a low self-esteem. So the point is, where you are, you begin to understand where God wants you to be. And every day you say, God, give me the courage, give me the hope, give me the faith to do what you have called me to do in this season. You know, that's where my hope comes from. I also understand that I was created, again, it goes back to knowing about the nature of God. When you know you were created for a purpose, all right? He told Jeremiah, before I formed you, I knew you and I called you to be a prophet. He created you for a purpose. Therefore, you were created he equipped you with everything you need to be successful. Everything you need to be successful, you were given. Listen, this remote I'm holding in my hand, right? It has the name Visio. Okay. Now, first of all, it's a remote, it's meant to fit into my hand. That's why it's not this big.
Exactly.
It's meant to fit into, it's even ergonomically shaped so that I can fit into my palm, right? Easily. And then the company has put their name on it. That way, if it doesn't work, then their reputation is on the line. God put His name on me. He put His name on me. He said, I'm His beloved. He said He created me for good works. So my job is to trust Him, seek to do His will in His way, and then trust that He will equip me. And yes, sometimes my self-will come in. Sometimes my own junk in my head will come in. And if it does, no condemnation. I'll realize it, I'll pray to God to forgive me, and then I'll reset and then move on.
Yeah. The no condemnation bit sometimes can be hard. Sometimes it's so hard for us to even forgive ourselves but anyway, I don't want to go into that now. Maybe we'll have to come back again and then we go into that. I want to ask you, so you are the queen of Hopemongers because I think you even coined that word. I don't think I had heard of it before you. So now anywhere we go, we hear of that word. Oh, we know who brought it up. So thank you for such a beautiful word. And so, our audience in the Fabulous Woman community, majority of us are new women in business. Some have been in business for a while. Some are now looking to do their business. Tell me, what has hope got to do with business in this day and age, especially with coronavirus? What has hope got to do with it?
So, Lady Ama, the definition of hope, right, is that hope is the belief and the desire that your future will be better than your past, and that you have something, a part to play in it. So hope is, it's part of hope encompasses the emotion of hope, right? But hope also means that there's something I have to do. If I tell you, Lady Ama, I hope you have a good day. Actually, I can't hope you have a good day because that's your choice. Make it a good day. Now, I can wish for you to have a good day. I can pray for you to have a good day, but only you can decide that, you know what, despite this, that I have to do, what my goals are looking, goals attained for the month, how I'm looking versus, the actual goals and so on. But still, I'm going to have a good day. This is what I'm going to do to make it a good day, to redeem the day. So hope shows that there's a part you have to play. And so hope is the underpinning of everything. Because, I'm going back to psychology, right? Your thoughts, every thought affects how you feel and then affects your behavior. So if you think a happy thought, for example, you're going to feel happy and then you might smile or a twinkle in your eye. If you think a sad or stressful thought, you're going to feel sad or stressed, and then you're going to create lots of stress hormones in your body. And sometimes those things prevent you from even thinking logically, rationally, creatively. Stress prevents you from thinking creatively. So understanding hope, right? Hope is what will allow you to have a better relationship with your clients, with your customers, with your employees. Hope is what will allow you to be optimistic, that optimistic part of it, and say, this is what I'm going to do. And the understanding that hope means there's a role to play. Hope will make you make plans. Hope will make you get up and implement those plans, right? Hope will make you invest in something you need to do to make your business better. So yes, hope is the foundation of everything we do as in our relationships, to do with our faith, and certainly to do with our businesses as well.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'm glad you mentioned family and all. Somewhere in your book on page 84, for those who haven't had it yet, I'm just teasing people. Go get the book. Okay, so you talk about being a superwomanoholic. This is quite a mouthful for me. First of all, please explain to us who is a superwomanoholic. I hope I got that right. And in the same chapter, you talk about how you set goals and you were unable to, for this particular season, you were unable to finish it or achieve all of it. This is something I go through. There are probably other people listening who've had, really goals that they even thought they could achieve. And then either COVID happened or something else happened and they were not able to. How were you able to deal with it? So this is in twofold. First of all, who is that big word that we just mentioned? And then how do you deal with it? You being the superwomanoholic person, everybody expects, you yourself expect so much from yourself, but you are not able to accomplish your goals.
Right. So before I even answer that, I want to backtrack and say that I actually was very flattered, but I did not coin the word hopemonger. I believe the first person I heard it from was Obama. He used the hopemonger, yes.
Respect.
Right, yes. And I loved it and I took it on. So a hopemonger, just like a fishmonger sells fish, exactly. A hopemonger is selling you on hope. So I wanted to say that.
I love that.
So, a superwomanoholic. That I think is my word, and it's a combination of two words,
Yeah.
superwoman, and then you've heard of alcoholics, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So because there's certain behaviors of an alcoholic,
Mm.
right? That if you're addicted to the notion of being a superwoman, you may find that you display. So an alcoholic cannot say no to any type of alcohol. An alcoholic will, get his life in a mess because he can't resist going for the drink.
Yeah.
And so their lives just become unmanageable. And I think that's what a superwoman or holic does. They strive for a certain level of perfectionism, and truly it's because they want to put it out to the world that look at me, I can do this, that. But the truth is that a superwomanaholic is coming from a place of, in me, my self-esteem isn't so great. In me, I don't believe that who I am is actually enough. So I feel like I have to do. Don't get me wrong. All of that doing makes the world a great place.
Yeah.
But if you don't look after yourself, you will eat away at yourself. That's why we are called human beings. See, if you and I never did another awesome thing in this world, we are still precious to God. Just by being.
Yes.
But when we don't understand that our being itself is awesome, right? He already created us to be fabulous, gorgeous, talented. And it's from there that we then impact the world.
Yeah.
But if we don't understand that, then we resort to just doing, because then we want to almost show the world that we are worthy. You're already worthy.
Absolutely.
You're already worthy. And I think that, just like as a business coach, one thing I learned from you was set goals, set, smart goals, right? Don't overset goals. Make it a working plan. Review your goals. Make sure they are specific, measurable, actionable. You can achieve them. If you can, some things you have to put on the back burner and focus on a few. A superwomanaholic doesn't focus. She wants to do it all and do it all. Right? Guess what? It doesn't work in business, nor does it work in our lives too as superwomanaholics. So let's set specific goals. It also means that, economics will tell you that any choice you make means that you've given up on some other choice. Yeah. Am I right? Right, opportunity cost, exactly. So therefore, when you make a choice to do A, B, and C, understand that you may have to give up D, E, and F. Otherwise, what will be given up in your life is something precious to you. Something will have to give sometimes in life. Yeah. What you don't want that thing to give is your relationships with your kids, your spouse, your loved ones. And so, or your time, or your sleep, or your health. Yeah. And sometimes we sacrifice some of those precious things on the altar of trying to appear like a superwoman. And that's what I'm cautioning against. And so what I talk about in that essay, as much as we should have to-do lists, we should have to-don't lists.
Yeah.
Right? On my to-don't list is gossip. I don't have time to gossip and talk, right? I don't have time to be trifling. I don't have time to be jealous of you.
Yeah.
And that's just the start of my to-don't list.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I love it. To don't do. If anyone is watching this and is thinking, I love it, you wait till you get the book. I don't mean to advertise, but I mean, like, this is a great book written by a Ghanaian. Anyway, let's go on. So I have a few more questions before we can wrap up, okay?
Sure.
I had to. So let me just say another confession. The English in this book blew me away. Hey, bravo.
Lady Ama, for real?
I was reading thinking, I mean, you went to Achimota. So I am thinking it had something to do with it. And the part where your husband responded to that post about the chicken, oh my God, this book is amazing. But I mean, and his brofutu is another level. Please, where did you learn to write such, you make English like art. The way you combine the words, and this is so funny. I'm someone I really like simple words. I like to use simple words. And I'm actually always laughing at people who use big words. But I appreciated these. Like, it sounded, even though I was reading, I wasn't hearing it from you, but it sounded like, this is rich. This is quality. Please.
It was simple as well, wasn't it? Because one feedback I got is a simple book to read.
Oh, it is. It doesn't use big ginormous words, no. But then the what's the word? Construction. You know how you put the words together. It's so beautiful. It's like a piece of art. And I was thinking, like, where did you learn? So when I was thinking, I was like, oh, it must be that Chimota you went to. I mean, I don't know, but I just want to know. I have to ask you this question.
I was a science student too, so I didn't even do big English. I was a science student. I did A level,
Really?
sciences. My first degree was in biochemistry, and then I did business because I didn't, So it wasn't that. I think that I have particularly a father who is very eloquent, and so he's we are fanties. We are fanties. Does that answer your question?
And my earring even fell. That explains it. We fancies and our.
So I think that's a part of it. But I think the other thing is I was an avid reader as a child.
Okay.
I was precocious and an avid reader, and my parents invested in my reading, so they would buy me different types. I would read everything and anything, and I think early on that's helped.
That helps.
Beyond that, see, the book is curated. So when you talk about it being like a work of art, it touches my heart. The book was curated. And so my process is I'll say what I want to say. And as I'm saying it, I'm talking to you. This book is me talking. And hopefully you found that because you know me, it was like, is Lady Abba talking to me? That's
exactly.
What I was doing.
Exactly.
And so I think I'll write down what I want to say as if I'm talking to somebody. And then I'll go back and read it again, and then I'll add some things to just I guess make it richer. So thank you for seeing that, appreciating that.
It's really impressive, and some of the stories I'm like, I can't believe she shared that. I have to commend you. Some of the stories are not things that people will go through and openly share. No, maybe their family members will know, but for you to willingly share it for the entire world, or whoever reads it, to be blessed by it. Thank you for that.
And I think that's what I want to. Yeah, you see, but I want to say this. I'm a psychotherapist, which is a fancy word for saying that I'm a mental health counselor. And I heard somebody say on Clubhouse this week that we write books for people who are not able to take advantage of, who are not able to be our clients. So we can't serve probably everybody who would like to.
Exactly.
So a book is a great way to get that message across, right? And so I'm trying to change how we think about our stories. We do come, in my opinion, I talk about it from a culture that is relatively quite closed compared to, say, the Western culture. We don't talk about certain things. But the truth is that whenever there are secrets, there's shame. It's almost like stagnant water beginning to stink. Wherever there are secrets, there's shame. People hold on to things, hold on to guilt unnecessarily. When we share our stories, what you find is that, number one, Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. And so therefore, when you share your story, somebody will hold on to it because somebody has experienced it. Right? And so not only are you blessing somebody, but somebody may also contribute, and then you will learn. It is in the place of sharing our stories do we hear, get new knowledge that can even help our lives become better. And it makes us strip away that shame and condemnation that frequently tries to envelope us. Brené Brown, who is an author I like. And hold on, let me find that quote she made, if I can find it quickly. She said, let me find it, sorry. When we deny our stories, they define us. When we own our stories, we get to write a brave new ending. And sometimes I talk to so many women who are holding on to so much condemnation. And I'm like, listen, in the story of your life, this is only chapter 2. Keep going. With the power of God, keep writing. God is going to help you write that story. Make it a good one. Rise up from where you are. Which actually brings me even to, I like to comment on, they say don't judge a book by its cover. In the case of my book, judge it completely by its cover. You see, because this here this image of, right, it's a kintsugi bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about a kintsugi, it's a Japanese art form. When
Mm-hmm.
I did it, my father said, "Is there no African version?" I said, "That I mean, I don't know. If you know, tell me." But I like this kintsugi because when you have a broken piece of pottery, right, um, they then mend it using gold or silver,
Yeah.
make a lacquer, like a sticky paste, and
Mm-hmm.
then they put the pieces together. So when they mend it, it's not as if you look at it and it's never been broken.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because so often I feel like I would look at people, mentors, and they look so perfect to me.
I
And I
know.
look at myself and I'm like, my life is so much more disjointed and staggered, But the kintsugi uses gold or silver to mend the bowl. And so you look at it and it's not that you can't tell, it's been broken,
Mm-hmm.
but it is beautiful.
Yeah.
And that is a masterpiece.
And it's even more precious because of
It's
the gold.
even more precious because of the gold. And so it doesn't matter what we've been through. Number one, we all have a story, share it, use what you've been through to impact the world. But number two, there is no shame, there is no condemnation. You are a masterpiece, a work of art. And so that is why I shared my happy stories, my sad stories, my funny stories, and some painful private ones too.
Yeah.
Was it easy for me to share? No, it wasn't. But I felt like I was hoping that the message and the benefit was more powerful than my superwomanaholic image.
Yes, yes, I like that. I like that. I'm going to let you go shortly, but tell us about your podcast, how to find it, and then your book, how to find it, especially for those watching in Ghana, and then I know on Amazon for those watching in other different countries.
Sure. So I think that I want to before I even do that, tell everyone that if there's a message that God has on your heart, share it. Find a medium and share it.
Mm.
I chose to do it through my book,
Mm.
Reflections of a Hopemonger. And then I realized that there's still more of the message I want to share. So I started a podcast and I call it Hopemongers Podcast. Again, the theme of that podcast is exactly the same as the book. I interview amazing people, not perfect people, but
Yeah.
amazing people, right? Hopemongers, such as yourself. You are episode 6 called Why Must Be Fabulous. And basically, again, what I'm putting out is trying to distill, their stories of faith, hope, resilience. Not that they are perfect, not even that they've attained everything they want to attain, but that they're on a journey to being their best selves. You know, I think that you call me Oprah. One of Oprah's quotes that I absolutely love is this one that says, she strives and she hopes that people will also strive to be the highest and the truest expression of themselves, right? And so that's what I'm hoping to do. So, Reflections of a Hope manga is available worldwide on Amazon.
Mhm.
In Ghana, it's available too. You can get it on Book Nook.
Mhm.
Go online and order it. You can get it on Boutique Ghana. Go online and order it. It's also in Challenge Bookstore, so it's
Oh,
there as well. Okay. And then the Hope Mongers podcast, everywhere you get podcasts, it is
oh,
there. Just search for it. Hope Mongers. It's on
oh,
Audible, it's on Apple, it's on Spotify, it's on Podcast Addict, it's on Google Podcast. It's everywhere. It's
everywhere.
everywhere.
Amazing.
Yes.
So you can
Uh,
find it.
Yes, ma'am. And I want to say, if anybody hears this and has a story they want to share, please reach out to me. I'm for my second season. I do want to capture more amazing stories, because there's so much negativity in the world. What we need to do is to take charge and spread hope, because I think hope is so vital to everything that we do. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you to fill in the blanks. I've got 3 questions and I need you to answer them with short sentences, like one phrase or a sentence. And I'm happy
Mhm.
I didn't let you know ahead of that time, so you couldn't have planned this. Okay, so the first question: if I could advise my younger self in one short sentence, I would say,
Don't give up on yourself. Keep going. Love yourself and hope.
thank you. I love that. And hope. Second question, or second, fill in the blank. I am fabulous because.
I'm a child of God. I was created for a purpose. And though I fall down and make mistakes, God picks me up and sets me back on the path. And I believe I will make it. That's why I'm fabulous.
Hallelujah. And then finally, one book that has greatly helped me in business is
Everything is figure outable, which I got to read because of Lady Ama. You know what? In her group coaching, let me tell you, she made me read. And now I'm reading Believe It.
Oh, I know, believe it.
Yes, and I'm loving Jamie. I'm loving Jamie Lynn Kern as well.
Amazing.
Everything is figure outable. It's become one of my mantras,
Ah,
because it shows me that I can push through, I can work through. It makes me solution focused. Everything is figure outable.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh man, thank you. Thank you so much. This has been so amazing. So I have this thing that when something powerful is happening to me, I have goosebumps. And talking to you, I just keep having the goosebumps. I wish I could have some sort of measuring thing that people can, when I'm getting it, people can see. It's
Okay,
so
hold
beautiful.
on, hold on, hold on. Goosebump ometer.
That's a good one. That's a good one. But thank you so much. You've really made my day. You've given me a lot of aha moments and food for thought. And this morning I was just having some thoughts, and it's like the Holy Spirit sent you to come and tell me some certain things. So I'm happy I have the recording, so actually I can replay it and then take notes and all. Thank you so much, Lady Abba. You are such a blessing to us. I can't believe I have the opportunity to sit at the feet with like at women, like I'm even confusing the English, but basically it excites me that I know people like you. You have no idea how I felt when I had you in my group coaching, I mean, for startups. Remember, this is someone who used to battle and occasionally still battle self-esteem. So when I get things like this, I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus. This year, the word he's given me is in Daniel, now I've forgotten, but it ends with, you are highly esteemed. And it's like he's trying to tell me over and over again that, Ama, you don't need validation from outside. You are already highly esteemed. It is not easy to take that, but thank you. Thank you for being in my community, being a blessing to us and giving us the opportunity to listen to you and all. And I do hope that people check this out. Buy one, buy some for a friend, you know, gift it to someone. Someone actually gifted it to me. I ordered it, but it came and then it was like, oh, it's a gift to me. So get it and then be blessed as you read it. Thank you so much. And we look forward to more of these books because the stories, dear, we know there are plenty. So please.
Thank you. And I can't end also without saying how much your group coaching helped me, how much it helped focus me, make me see the importance of doing all I need to do on social media and different things I need to do to really amplify that voice and to get the message out there. Thank you for showing me how to plan. Thank you for showing me how to do things I never knew how to do on social media. And I really just enjoyed being in that community, and I'm honored you've had me here today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm brushing, as someone will say, I'm brushing. All right, thank you. So for everyone who has been watching us, I hope you've been as blessed as I have been. This has been amazing, Lady Abba Kato Anda. Such a beautiful name. Well, has been our guest today. Please go check her out. Check in the caption, I will have the link to check out her podcast, her book on Amazon, and just to find her. She does these amazing lives. It's been a while since I saw it, but I know she occasionally pops and do a nice video. She writes very beautifully. So do follow her and be blessed as I am being.
Thank you for checking up on me and making sure I do my lives.
You're welcome.